My father was born in Philadelphia, and my father is American. My mother is Israeli, and they met in Jerusalem. And the first time I ever came to the United States was I was 13. My older brother started playing violin before me, and our parents neither of them are musicians, but they decided that every kid should learn an instrument, and he chose the violin. And then being the younger brother, I got sucked into the whole world of the music students, and I saw the cello, and I thought it looked really cool. So I just had to, when it was my time to choose an instrument, that's what I picked. In the Israeli military has a special program called Distinguished Musicians that Isaac Stern started, and they select a few players every year, and it really changes with the time. I don't know what the program is like at the moment, but they pick a few players to preserve their playing, and we have to do basic training and some basic military work and guard duty and all that, but the rest of the time you get to play the instrument. And I had a string quartet. We used to go play for soldiers and outposts and in camps and do receptions, and it's tended to be surreal sometimes, but we learned a lot from that. During my service I studied at Tel Aviv University, and at some point it became clear I wanted to expand, to go out, and the United States was the obvious place for me because my father is from here, and I got to know in festivals, I got to know many musicians from here, and we made a connection with Lawrence Lesser at New England Conservatory. My teacher in Israel was an alumnus of New England Conservatory, and without even getting there, I managed to send a tape and got to get a full scholarship and go there. It was very spontaneously. We just got into school, and a week after I finished my service, I was already at the conservatory. New music I was always attracted to, and I really got exposed to composers and working with composers here at Tanglewood when I was a fellow in 2000. And I'm especially attracted to learning pieces from scratch. That experience for me is very different from learning traditional music or classical music, in that you don't have the tradition behind it. You don't have a performance tradition. You have to look at the music and learn it and really use your imagination. So the process is somewhat, in certain ways, more creative. You really have to create it from nothing. And working with the composer is also something that you can't do with Mozart or Beethoven, and you wish you could, but really getting feedback, and in the best cases with some composers you can actually, the piece might change. Well, we worked with John Williams last year, played a chamber music piece, and as famous, as wonderful as he is, he was very attentive to every concern we had, and he kept changing little things in the music according to our instrumental issues or just what it sounded like. So that's, being a part of that process is really fascinating. You can only imagine what that was like for the players of the past, working with the great composers of their time. I went, when I started NEC, I started getting tickets. A very good friend of mine, Ilan Volkov, was assistant conductor at the time, so he got me free tickets all the time, so I got to hear many concerts. And it's striking at first because visually it's such a stunning place. And I came from Israel, and all the music halls in Israel are relatively new. They're all Bauhaus, very box-like, very functional, and seeing the beauty of the place. And also the old world kind of sound that it has, the vibration of it. It's so alive and rounded in a way that I didn't hear before. I think everyone says in the orchestra, everyone knows that the sound of the orchestra is shaped by the whole. It's like chamber music. We play the orchestra and the whole collaborate. And the BSO sound is famous all over the world, partly to a large extent because of the whole. The cello section we're very proud of, I think, at the moment, because all sections, they change a little bit. People retire, new people come in, And the way we are the past 5 years now, we have the same section, and we have a really great feeling of a group and great pride in it. Each one of us is a little crazy in a different way, and we have everyone does things. We have Jules as our principal, who's a living legend. We have the Boston Cello Quartet. 4 of us are members who do really great stuff as a cello quartet, and each one does solo work, chamber music, teaching. We're all very active, and each one in somewhat different way, and we have all our little quirks. And I think when it comes to playing together, I think it sounds really great. We're very happy with how we sound. What are my interests? Everything that's food related. I'm constantly thinking about it, and my wife makes fun of me for planning meals a week ahead. We finish dinner and I already have ideas of what I'll make a night or 2 or 3 in advance, depending on what's on the market, and I'll go far away to find farmers I like and get to know them and make and find new regional food, cuisine. When we go on tour, I'll go out of my way, I'll get away from everyone else and find that little hole-in-the-wall place that I researched, and that has the best this or the best that. I'm already researching for our Asia tour of almost a year away. I'm already asking for restaurant recommendations. And I like to make everything myself, and I'll take extra time to make my own cheese and make my own bacon and make my own ketchup and make my own whatever it is, to start from as close to scratch as possible and experiment and try things. Music is alive and well. If you look at listings in New York or in Boston, there are more concerts going on than ever, and they're full. We just had the Boston Early Music Festival. There were about 1,000,001 concerts going on, and there were people in all of them. There is a challenge of getting new blood, new people, because public education doesn't have music so much anymore. And as a challenge for the years ahead, also for symphony players, to go to the schools, to go to the neighborhoods that don't get music on a regular basis and play for kids, teach kids. I think that's a mission that in the upcoming years will be more and more important, the outreach. There's great things happening, but really we need to expand our vision and look at other places.